Hi there, welcome back to the Flask Mastery series. In this session, we are going to build an endpoint that deletes a particular user. So let's get started. So we are going to make use of our last endpoint. So I'm going to copy this up and paste it here. So the URL for this request is going to be delete. Then the way we are going to be deleting users is by their ID. And then the method for this endpoint is going to be a delete method. So I'm going to update the methods list to delete. And I will ensure that we are still protecting this endpoint. The function name is going to be updated to delete user. So we are going to ensure that users are only deleted by the administrator. So line 249 is going to be kept in place. Same applies to line 250, and then we have to ensure that we get the user by the ID, so this is going to be kept in place too. If the logged in user is not an admin, so this is going to be updated. Then the response that we are going to return is you are not authorized to delete this user. Then the status code is going to be forbidden. Then these are not required for this request, so I'm going to delete them. And for cases whereby we are deleting a particular item from our database, we do not need the request body. Same applies to all this. So if the user exists and then the person who is trying to delete this user is an administrator, we have to go ahead and delete the user from the database. So we know that each user has one or more companies and books. So that means that we have to look through the user's books and the companies and delete all of them in case they exist when we are deleting the user. So I'm going to first of all ensure that I'm commenting this. So we are going to create a loop that deletes all associated companies for this user when the user is also deleted. So this is going to be for company in user.companies. Then for us to delete the company, we are going to access the DB object, then the session dot delete. Then I'm going to pass in the company that we are trying to delete, and this is going to be the same case for the book. So I'm going to copy this up and paste it here, then ensure that I'm updating the comment to delete associated books. And instead of company, we are going to be looping through the books. So for book in user.books, we delete the book. So having deleted the companies and the books for this user, we have to ensure that we are also deleting the user. So db.session.delete, and then we pass in the user. And I also ensure that the indentation is updated. So having deleted the user alongside his or her books and companies, we have to return a response. And the response for this case, we are going to have a message, user deleted successfully, and we do not need the user object. Okay, so for now we are going to go ahead and test our endpoint to ensure that it is working as expected. So I'm going to create a new request, and then the request name is going to be delete user. So the URL for the request is user/delete, then slash the ID for the user that we are going to work with, and then the method is going to be delete. So first of all, I'm going to ensure that we fetch all the users. So we can work with user ID 3, and that is Baroda Angel. So first of all, I'm also going to ensure that I'm accessing Baroda Angel's details, that is ID 3. So when I make a new request, we can see that Baroda Angel exists and she has one company, that is Baroda Group of Companies. So we are going to delete Baroda Angel. So we expect that when we delete this user Baroda Angel, her company, Baroda Group of Companies, must also be deleted. So this is ID 3 and we need authorization headers. So the first thing we are going to test with is a user who's not an administrator trying to delete that user. For example, if we work with Daphne is an author. So there can be cases whereby Daphne wants to delete someone else's details. So I'm going to ensure that we are working with Daphne's access token so that we can test if our logic is working fine. So when we try to access this endpoint using Daphne's access token, we can see that the response that is returned is that she is not authorized to delete this user. And then the status code is forbidden, and this is true. So now we are going to go ahead and ensure that the access token we are using is for our system administrator. So when I make a new request, the response we get is user deleted successfully and the status code is a 200. So what we expect is that when we try to reaccess user ID 3, we must get a response that this user does not exist. And we are also going to ensure that Baroda group of companies does not exist. So I'm going to make a new request. So you see that when I make a new request, we get user not found. And when I try to refresh the database, we can see that the user no longer exists within our database. And the same applies to the company. So the user has been deleted successfully and the company has also been deleted successfully. I hope you found this insightful and helpful to you. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe if you found this session very helpful to you.